My stepmom always said it was concern, but it felt more like surveillance. My stepmom, Laura, wanted to control every aspect of my life, dictating my spending and relationships. I decided to give her exactly what she wanted, 24/7 updates on every mundane detail, until she had a nervous breakdown and finally learned her lesson. I was 24 years old and living independently when my father married Laura 4 years ago. So, I figured her influence on my life would be pretty small. At the wedding, she seemed lovely, stating she respected limits and knew I was an adult who didn't need another parent. She was a welcome addition to Christmas dinner, and I was genuinely happy for my dad. For about 5 months, everything was actually good. We'd occasionally have lunch, she'd ask about my job at the accounting firm, and she never overstepped. In all honesty, I thought I'd gotten lucky with my step-parent. Everything changed the moment I started dating Jax. Laura did a surprising U-turn on her ideas about boundaries. Jax didn't have a sufficiently solid employment situation with the fire department. My apartment was too far from their house. My long work hours meant I couldn't maintain a good relationship. Twice a week, she'd call me to discuss relationship psychology and career planning. She emailed me 20 links about how pets ruin the financial destiny of young people when I brought up getting a cat. When I complained, my father would just shrug. Laura cares about you and wants to help. Then Jax and I decided to live together, and that's when the actual escalation began. Laura went insane. She convened an emergency family gathering where she gave an actual PowerPoint presentation on the statistics of cohabitation and its failure rates. She had created graphs about my spending habits, which she had somehow gained knowledge of, likely by interrogating my father. She had even created a timetable for me, showing where my life ought to go by the time I turned 30, and living with a boyfriend was definitely not on that timeline. After I expressed my gratitude and stated that Jax and I were satisfied with our decision, she told my father that I was acting recklessly and needed intervention. The daily check-in was initiated. At that point, Laura would send me a text message every morning at 8 o'clock, inquiring about what I intended to do that day. If I didn't respond within an hour, she'd phone my father, expressing concern. She began making surprise visits to my apartment to confirm I was maintaining it to the appropriate level of cleanliness, complaining about everything from my grocery choices to the timing of my laundry. Jax nicknamed her the warden. She attempted to convince me to change employment and move to a company run by her friend, so she could monitor my actions more effectively. After I declined, she even called my employer to discuss my career path. My employer felt it necessary to address the personal problem I was dealing with since it was becoming strange. After that, there was the episode where I thought I might be pregnant. I made the grave error of telling my father that I had experienced a delayed period and that Jax and I had been feeling anxious about it. Within hours, Laura showed up at my home with pregnancy tests, prenatal vitamins, and a booklet containing information about family planning. I attempted to reassure her that everything was going well and that the stress was the only thing bothering me, at which point she responded that I should be more responsible and that it was possible that she could be the one to manage my birth control program. That was it. I had finished working on her as a project. However, I was unable to simply sever ties with her without sparking a conflict with my father.